Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new video by Joburg Pilgriimer. It is titled How to Travel Johannesburg, and if you are a visitor in the area, this is for you. But also if you are a local and just want to know more about your city, this is for you as well. As always, feel free to visit the website and look at all the things to see and do in a city. There's always an area where you can contact the places, inquire about them, and see everything that is in town. So without further ado, let us go straight into the video. Johannesburg is divided into 5 parts, and the part that is called Johannesburg is not the best part of Johannesburg. Johannesburg is divided into 5 parts, and Johannesburg is the first and most central part of the Johannesburg environment. And in urban planning terms, Johannesburg is the CBD, so the Central Business District. The 4 other parts in Johannesburg or around Johannesburg are named in reference to the CBD. They are identified by the compass directions. They are the north, the south, the east, and the west. So the south would be in the south of Johannesburg Central. The north would be in the north and south side of central Johannesburg, as well as the east and the west. Each site is characteristically different from one another by development, by race, by culture, and by vibe. Let us start our conversation with the CBD. The CBD is made up of 7 neighborhoods. That is Domfontein, it's Braamfontein, it's Marshalltown, it's Newtown, it's Fordsburg, it's Hillbrow, and it's Auckland Park. There are other obscure areas such as Berea and others, but these are the dominant, most known neighborhoods in the Central Business District, that is overall Johannesburg Central. So Domfontein, Newtown, Hillbrow, and Fordsburg are rather deteriorating suburban or urban areas. They are rather old and they have been invaded by the masses ever since the reduction of the apartheid government, and they are rather dirty and flooded and unsafe. However, Braamfontein, Marshalltown, and Auckland Park are cleaner, more welcoming, and relatively preserved. Braamfontein is the most popular of these areas. It is safer, cleaner. It is a student-centric environment with many students, many student accommodations, and the second best university in the continent. The reason that Domfontein, Newtown, and Hillbrow are deteriorating areas is because they are relatively old developments. After the segregation, there was a large influx of people. However, the influx was not monitored, it was not done in an orderly manner, and therefore there was a disregard of the city, and the city was treated with contempt. While Doornfontein is mostly unpleasant, it does have the Ellis Park Stadium, which is one of the most impressive stadiums in the city. Marshalltown, on the other hand, has the Maboneng Precinct, which is a popular, most vibrant spot where locals and also visitors love to come and hang out. Newtown is a cultural precinct. It has the Museum Africa, it has the Market Theatre, and it has generally a culture or cultural theme all around the streets. However, Newtown still is a rather deteriorating area. Braamfontein has many good spots. However, the playground is currently the most popular and the most well-received spot in the neighborhood. Auckland Park is a very quiet neighborhood, a little suburb, and doesn't have many things happening. However, it does have the SABC, which is the largest TV broadcasting company in South Africa, and it has two campuses of the University of Johannesburg, as well as the Linfield House Museum. The conclusion and advice is to only visit central Joburg a day or two after you have arrived in South Africa and have settled in and have stayed in your apartment or guest house for a while, and only mostly visit the popular spots and areas in central Joburg with other youth and other people who are hanging out in those nice areas. Secondly, and most confidently, it is Johannesburg North. When you exit central Johannesburg through Hillbrow, through Braamfontein, or through Auckland Park, you immediately enter Johannesburg North. The characteristics of the North are cleaner areas, cleaner streets, beautiful suburbs, beautiful neighborhoods, expensive rents, expensive rates and taxes, opulent neighborhoods, and great malls. Some popular places in the north are Melville, Rosebank, Parkhurst, Emmarentia, Melrose, Ilovo, Fourways, Morningside, Sandown, to name a few. However, the most and biggest and well-respected neighborhood in the north is Sandton, which is often referred to as the richest square mile in Africa. In essence, this is the place that is recommended to find a place to stay at when visiting, and it's also the place where locals go to when they become successful. Then we have the East. This is a good time to mention the fact that these places in Johannesburg or around Johannesburg are structured like this due to the segregation era of South Africa. So the East is a place where black people were placed, and this is where they used to stay from the past, and the effects of the segregation can still be seen today. There are areas in the East where one may find what is called an eastern suburb, such as Boksburg, Brandthurst, Brakpan, and other areas which are relatively nicer and well kept over all the ages. However, it is important to note that an eastern suburb can never be a northern suburb. Nonetheless, in the East, it is a very comfortable and very nice and lovely place to stay in. Settlements outside of central Johannesburg are typically known as townships, and although many have had a rough start, there are many improvements around many townships, and this is due to many black and other races in South Africa becoming university graduates and giving back to the communities. The South is a kind of cultural precinct or some sort of a museum, and you're going to understand what I mean in just a moment. It contains Soweto, the biggest and most popular township in South Africa. It is the most influential and one with the most history from the period of apartheid in South Africa. It contains the Mandela House, a place where the man once lived in during his lifetime that has now been turned into a museum that people can visit and see and look around. It is also home to the Hector Peterson Museum, a place not so far from where the young youth was shot while he was protesting against the apartheid government, and it is still a testament to this day to the brutal nature of the apartheid government and to the youth that once fought against this regime. Soweto also has the most famous Vilakazi Street, which maintains the township spirit, an atmosphere that black people have felt ever since the chains of apartheid have been released. It has the food, the culture, the commodities to buy, and the vibes. The South also has another interesting thing, which is a product of the apartheid era and something that makes the South feel like a museum. The South has a neighborhood called Lenasia, and this is a place which is predominantly Indian. So there's a neighborhood in the South that is largely populated by Indian people, a structural thing that was brought about by the apartheid government. There are two other neighborhoods, Ernadale and Eldorado Park. These are neighborhoods that are predominantly colored neighborhoods, another testament of South Africa's history. It is important to note that South Africa has since become diverse, and one can find any person of any race and in any place today. There are other obscure neighborhoods in the south, but when we want to talk about a southern suburb, Glen Vista comes to mind. So that's a shout out to Glen Vista, a nice southern suburb. Johannesburg West is like the quiet kid in class. It is not too out there, but it's in the class. So Johannesburg West is made up of two dominant and rather large neighborhoods. That is Honeydew and Roodepoort. These ones are so vast that they make up most of the West. However, there are other obscure Western neighborhoods. Both of these suburbs seem to have been historically well-off neighborhoods. However, they have become infiltrated and certain portions of them, certain areas are deteriorating. But nonetheless, they are still dominantly precious, lovely, and secure in the West. An interesting site is the Waltersisulu Botanical Garden in Roodepoort. It's an interesting place to visit, interesting views, scenic views, vistas, and it's a nice place to go and check out. Our comment on the two suburbs is that they both feel relatively large. They feel large to travel, to drive around, while many neighborhoods around every other parts of Johannesburg feel rather small, especially the northern suburbs. It's easy to get to the next one after coming from the first one, but the western two suburbs are rather large and it takes some time to travel. However, it feels like a backyard environment, just a quiet place, its very own kind, which is why each part of Johannesburg is its own place. It is unique, it is characteristically different. So there you have it, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed the conversation. I hope you enjoyed taking a trip to Johannesburg, understanding that Johannesburg in itself is essentially the CBD, and when the locals are excited about Johannesburg, they're not necessarily excited about the central Joburg. They know its downs, they know its challenges. However, they also know some of the interesting things about it. They visit it, they go there a lot, and some of them live there and know how to make it. However, there are other places around Joburg, and this is where the fun begins. This is where somebody really begins to know and understand Joburg. Let us know which part is your favorite. We obviously like the north, we stay in the north, but to understand that each and every side of Joburg has something that the other doesn't have. And every once in a while, when a person is in a good place in their lives and they have time on their Saturdays or any other day of the week, it is very good to visit a different part to get a different vibe. But when somebody goes to the townships or the most remote areas or the areas without popular attractions, it's important to be careful. It's important to be streetwise. It's important to be very sharp. So good luck on your travels, and we hope you enjoy Johannesburg. We hope this helps you to navigate it much better, and also incorporate the resource of the website seeing all the places that we have listed. There are so many passionate owners who passionately run amazing experiences, things to see, things to do, places to eat, places to stay. You can go there and find all the lovely place around Johannesburg. Good luck in your travels and happy